on to. I want this to be your anchor in life. When you're lost, when you're sad, when everything is falling apart, hold on to who is the version of yourself that you want to be. Welcome to Brown Girls Need Healing Too, the podcast where we dive deep into the journey of healing, transformation, and radical self-love. I'm Kiana, and I'm here to help you break free from trauma, reconnect with your inner peace, and step boldly into the life you deserve. This is your space to feel seen, heard, and supported as we explore the tools, stories, and practices that will help you reclaim your power and rewrite your story. Because healing isn't just for some of us, it's for all of us. And brown girls need healing too. Okay, I just got finished doing a really powerful, empowering breathwork session. It has been so long, so long since I've done a breathwork session. It's also been a long ass time since I've done a podcast episode. And oh my gosh, y'all don't hate me, but I've just been so busy with the business. I know you're tired of hearing that, but we're about to hit six figures and I'm super proud of it. Unfortunately, in this race to success, um, I have I've kind of let the things that I did to get to where I am take a back seat. And I was reminded about that yesterday when one of my friends messaged me and they were like, "Hey, you have a business, you have a podcast. I'm thinking of starting a podcast. And I just want to know, like, how do you kind of get the motivation to do it?" And then I had to think about it and I was just like, well, first of all, I don't find the motivation to do anything at all. If and that was my rule for myself. I think maybe less than a year ago, I was like, you know what, Kiana, if you don't feel like doing something, don't do it. If you don't feel like going somewhere, don't go. If it's not calling you, if it doesn't light you up, then it's not meant for you. And that was one of the things that I had to work on because I am a certified um in recovery people pleaser. So that was one of the promises that I made to myself. So back to what I'm saying, I when it comes to the podcast, I don't find the motivation. I do it when it feels natural. So this was what this podcast was all about. It was the love letter to myself, to my younger self who couldn't speak up because now I can speak up. And in this process, not only have I been able to help myself, but I've been able to help so many people around the world. I was looking at our data yesterday, and it is quite incredible how many freaking people listen to my podcast from all over the world. So I just want to say thank you so much from Las Vegas. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And I really do hope that you gain something from this. Now, I know I say this in every episode, but it just gets better and better like fine wine. And this episode is long overdue, but it just came right at like the perfect time. Just because my sister was going through some personal things, I was going through some personal things. I had my business partner and I's relationship fell apart. And so it was a very, very hard time for me, and I was able to get some clarity and I was able to pull myself out of a situation that I know a lot of people have to deal with or are in. And I really hope that you guys get that from me. So, what we're going to talk about today is the death of who you used to be. A lot of us are in this weird period right now, right? Because Lionsgate closed in September. September is number 9. The number 9 is the number energy that communicates like something's closing, right? So now we're in October. A lot of us are in a weird limbo because we don't know who we are. We don't know what we're doing. We don't know what our purpose is. And we kind of just feel lost. And one of the most important tools that I want you to have wherever you are, wherever you're going through, whenever you feel lost, is that your identity or who you want to be, even when you're not being that person, is one of the most important things that I want you to hold on to. I want this to be your anchor in life. When you're lost, when you're sad, when everything is falling apart, hold on to who is the version of yourself that you want to be. The reason why this episode hits home for me is truly because in my healing journey, in my evolving journey, I've had to die. I've had to lose things. I've had to leave things behind. And when I say die, I don't mean literally. I'm still very much alive. I mean versions of myself had to stop existing in order for the Kiana that I am today to exist, right? So there was a time in my life where I thought that like healing meant like adding more routines, more affirmations, more goals. But what I've learned is, and what you'll learn through the process, is that healing is actually all about subtracting because society teaches us that we are not whole as we are. However, that is one of the greatest lies that the Matrix will tell you. You being born in this earth at this time, you are already whole. You are already worthy. You are already perfect as you are. So you don't need to add on to you. What happens is, what we need to do is subtract. We need to step away from all of the things, the thoughts, the patterns, the habits, everything. We have to step away from the things that no longer serve us. And so for me in my season right now, the death that I'm experiencing is the death of the people pleaser. And for a lot of you that know or don't know, being a people pleaser is very, very detrimental. And in the long run, it doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't serve the person that I'm people pleasing with. It doesn't serve me. And in the end, I end up with the one who is suffering, overwhelmed, anxious. And then I'm resentful towards the person because I was doing something that I truly didn't want to do. So this goes back to what I said earlier. If you do not feel like doing something, under no circumstances are you to do it. Not because you feel bad, not because this person took care of you one time before, not because you owe them, not because they asked you to, or, not because of any reason other than you truly want to do it. And whether or not they're thankful for it doesn't matter because you want to do it because it's what's going to make you happy at the end of doing it. So, in my business, because they say business is extremely spiritual. Um, in my business, I've had to quickly learn to identify who I want to show up as in my business. Do I want to be friends with my employees? Do I want to be their supervisor? Or do I just want to be a leader? And that is who I am. But being a leader and being a people pleaser do not go hand in hand because those are two different identities. And I completely struggled and I hated myself every second of the day when I was doing things for other people because when I sat and I looked at the numbers, and I realized after doing some deep work and some journaling, I realized that the people pleaser in me has created this amazing business, this abundant business, and everyone was benefiting from it but me. Now, what is the point in starting a business if you don't benefit from it, right? And so this was some of the deep work that I had to do. But I realized that in order for me to be the Kiana that is the leader, that builds structure, that operates in not only her feminine energy, but her masculine energy, I had to kill the version of Kiana that was allowing people to call in sick, that was allowing clients to cancel last minute, allowing people to be indecisive, giving away things in hopes that it satisfies people. That was the person that I had to essentially murder in order to thrive. And so if you're in a season where you have to kill a version of yourself, I really want you to understand that it's not so much a death, right? It's more of a rebirth. And if you've been alive for any period of time, you understand that you have to evolve. Now, I want you to understand that in this process of letting the old version of you die, just like any death, there is a grieving process and it is extremely normal. It's extremely normal. And I'm saying this because a lot of us are going through grieving processes and we think it's about one thing. But if we really sit down and see it from a bigger picture, we're just grieving the identity that we had. However, what is trying to go from your life is trying to go for a reason because it doesn't serve you. And the universe is always conspiring in your highest favor. So if that relationship is trying to leave you, let it leave. And it's not you. It's not you and it's not that person. It's the version of you that you had to be in order to tolerate whatever situation that was or live through that situation. And you are upset because you're grieving that person that you used to be. So for the businesswoman who overworks because she's afraid to lose stability, that's me. That was my identity, overworking, people pleasing. I don't want to lose who I am in life. And who am I if I don't work, right? My grandma worked for freaking all of her life. And when she stopped working, she went through a really, really tough, depressive situation because her whole identity, her whole life, she has been working. And when you take work away, just like anything else, uh, who are you? When you're a mom and you have kids and you devote your life to your kids, and then your kids grow up, then you hit that depressive episode because who are you if you're not a mom? Same with being married. Who are you if you're not a wife? Who are you if you don't have this? Who are you if you don't have money? But at the end of the day, you are still whole with or without those things, but emphasis on without those things. Every woman listening to this has a version of herself that's quietly dying, quietly. And you know it. You know it, she knows it, and I know it. But she's scared of what comes next. And that is very normal. However, a lot of people get lost in this part. The part of being scared. It overwhelms them. It creates a mind fog. You're unable to see the future because you're so unsure of what happens next. But this, you guys, like I've talked about in my previous episodes, this space that we're in where we're scared of what happens next because the part of us that kept us alive for so long is dying. This is where the magic is created. So imagine having like a blank slate or a blank canvas or a blank piece of paper. This is, or a blank computer program, right? This is where you put down who you want to be. This is where you install the computer program that you want to run your life in order to get you to achieve the goals that you want to achieve. So I'm saying this to say that although an an identity death is very uncomfortable because we start losing the things that we held on to so tightly. I get so passionate and excited about these things because those things leaving just make room for the things that truly serve us. And you are always literally in connection and in communication with your highest self. And your highest self is just rooting you on, saying, "Hey, woo, we're about to make it. Just hang on tight and have faith." Now, the fun part, integration, because you didn't just listen to a podcast to listen to a podcast. You listened to this podcast in order to be inspired to take action that's going to change your life forever. So, I want you to write a letter to the version of yourself that got you to where you are now, whether that be the people pleaser, whether it be the overworker, whether it be the overachiever, whether it be the drug addict, the introvert, the extrovert, whoever that version of yourself was that you're letting go of, it's time to write a letter to her. And in this letter, I want you to thank her for keeping you safe, her or him, but I'm a woman, so I have to say her, right? If you're a gentleman listening to my podcast, please switch out the pronouns. I want you to thank yourself for keeping you safe. And I want you to acknowledge her for all of her gifts, because no matter what personality traits you have or what identity you held on to, it brought on some positive gifts. So thank her for those gifts. The empathy that she taught you, the intuition that she taught you, the sensitivity that she taught you, or for a lot of people, the discernment that she taught you. And then I want you to release her. Release her back into light and let her know by saying to her or him, you don't have to hold everyone anymore. I can love and protect us now. From here, I want you to burn or tear up the letter, and I want you to visualize that energy returning back to earth. Then take a deep breath and imagine the woman or man that replaces her. Grounded, rested, abundant as fuck, radiant, and standing in her own energy. All right, you guys are doing some really amazing shadow work. You know, this is the stuff that I live for. I live for this shit. I really do. That is why I'm always in therapy, because even though it's hard, even though it's challenging, and even though it's extremely uncomfortable, I know that I am doing what I need to do in order to be a more aligned version of myself. So I congratulate you guys to showing up to this practice. You guys are all amazing, and thank you so much again for listening. I love you so much. Love and light and a little liquor. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.